Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're not just, chatting. We're diving deep into something really fundamental. It's about connecting with people, really expressing yourself in English, talking about your free time, what you love to do.
That's right.
Yeah, and as we look through them, we found some genuinely surprising things. One thing in particular really stood out, a word that's taught all the time, but you probably shouldn't actually use it in daily conversation. Sounds intriguing, right? Let's unpack this properly. So, okay, thinking about downtime, what people do, there's just so many options, aren't there?
Oh, absolutely. Endless options. But what's useful is how our sources help categorize them. It's a great starting point.
Right, for vocabulary, but also just for understanding the whole landscape.
Exactly. We can generally group these into, say, 4 common types. First up, you've got indoor activities. Think playing board games, video games, reading a book, watching TV or films, or simply, chilling out, hanging out with friends. Pretty standard stuff.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Then there are outdoor activities. This covers a huge range. Sports like football, skiing, swimming, jogging, also gardening, which is like massive in the UK, by the way.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, huge. And travel, even shopping fits here sometimes, depending if it's indoors or outdoors.
Right, shopping spans both. Okay, what's next?
Next is collecting things. And it's not just stamps and coins anymore, although those are still around. One source pointed out modern trends like NFTs.
Yeah.
Non-fungible tokens.
NFTs.
Yeah, unique digital things, digital art, video clips that people are, quote, snapping up, buying.
A whole new world for collecting.
Definitely. And finally, number 4, creative activities. This is things like playing a musical instrument, painting, knitting, handicrafts, taking photos, stuff where you're making something, expressing yourself.
That's a really helpful breakdown. Looking at those categories, it makes you think, doesn't it, about how we actually talk about these things, which brings us to something, well, pretty surprising. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. One source points out this weird paradox. The word hobby, it's like everywhere in English textbooks, right? One of the first words you learn for free time.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
But in real, everyday, natural English chats, we basically never use it.
Almost never. It's quite striking when you notice it.
So why? Why is that?
Well, think about it. Hobby feels a bit formal, maybe slightly stiff.
Yeah, like an interview question. So tell me about your hobbies.
Exactly. It sounds a bit unnatural in a casual chat. You're more likely to hear it on, say, the news or maybe in a form you're filling out, but just talking to someone, not so much. And the goal is to sound natural, right? Not like you're reading from a script.
That totally clicks. I remember trying to say, my hobby is photography once, and it just, well, it fell flat, really formal. So, okay, crucial question then.
Yeah.
If we ditch the word hobby, what do we say? How do we talk about these things naturally?
Right, and that's where the resources are great. They give us loads of options. You don't just have to use a simple verb. There are ways to sound much more confident, more natural. For just general activities, you could say, I get up to a lot of things.
Get up to. That just means do.
Yeah, it just means do, but it sounds quite natural, a bit casual, or the opposite. I don't get up to much.
Just a quick tip, though. Maybe avoid saying just nothing. If you're in a more formal setting, like an exam, try to elaborate a bit.
Good point. Okay, so that's general. What about showing you enjoy something?
Well, there's a scale. Simple enjoyment. I like to do yoga, or I like doing yoga.
Both work.
Both are perfectly fine. Though sometimes I like to do something suggests more of a habit or a choice. Like I like to do yoga on Thursdays. It's my routine.
Okay. Subtle difference. What if you really enjoy it? Then you can amp it up. I'm fond of playing video games. Or I'm into playing video games.
Yeah.
Or even stronger, I'm passionate about playing video games.
Right. Fond of, into, passionate about.
And notice something here, a little grammar tip. After prepositions like into, about, if a verb follows, it almost always takes the in form, the gerund.
So fond of playing, into playing, passionate about playing. Got it.
Exactly. It turns the action into the thing you feel that way about.
What if it's more casual? Not super serious.
Good question. You can say something like, I like to dabble in cooking, or I sometimes dabble in painting.
Dabble. I like that. It sounds light.
Yeah, it means you do it a bit for fun, not too seriously. And if you want to be humble, maybe you're not a pro. You could say, I'm just an aficionado.
An aficionado. So someone who loves it but isn't necessarily an expert.
Precisely. Or just simply, I play for fun. Or I'm an amateur. All good ways to show it's not your profession.
That's such a useful range of phrases. Much better than just saying, I do swimming.
Definitely gives it more flavor, more nuance.
It makes me think, though, like I'm into versus I'm fond of. Is there a time you'd specifically choose one?
That's a really good question. Um, I'd say I'm into often feels a bit more current, maybe more enthusiastic, especially for like active interests I'm fond of. Feels maybe a little softer, perhaps more traditional, like a gentle, long-standing affection for something.
Okay.
And passionate about is obviously for the big things, the ones that are really important to you. So yeah, it depends on the feeling you want to convey.
That makes total sense. It's about the nuance. And, to make your answers even better, it's not just what you do, right? It's adding the details, like how often, when you started. That makes it a real conversation.
Exactly. Enriching the description.
Which
For
is-
frequency, you can move beyond just often or regularly.
Mm.
Try phrases like whenever I can, or as often as I can, or whenever I get a chance. Shows enthusiasm and reality.
Yeah, life gets busy.
Right, and if you wish you could do it more, you can say, I don't paint as much as I would like. Or another really natural one, I don't get round to painting as much as I would like.
Get round to it, meaning find the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great idiom.
Okay. And what about talking about starting the activity?
This is a great place to show off your tenses. Makes you sound more fluent. If it's recent, present simple works. I recently took up painting.
Cook up, meaning started.
Yep. Or just, I'm new to it. Simple. If it was a while ago, use the simple past. I started painting a couple of years ago. Or, more colloquially, I decided to have a go at painting. Or, I decided to try my hand at painting.
Have a go. Or try my hand at. Both mean just deciding to try something new.
That's it. Very natural phrases. And for things you started way back and still do. The present perfect continuous is perfect. I've been playing football for as long as I can remember.
Shows that long duration.
Exactly. Or, if it's been a really long time, you can use that great idiom for donkey's years.
For donkey's years. Love that one. Really British sounding.
Very much so. Means for ages.
Using these different phrases and tenses, it really does make your answers more sophisticated. You're telling a story, not just listing facts. So, okay, we do these things, but why? What's the point? What do we get out of it? It's more than just killing time, obviously.
Absolutely. It's about the benefits, the fulfillment. And our sources highlighted some common ones you can talk about. For relaxation, you could say, it helps me to unwind, or more casually, kick back, or chill out.
Unwind, kick back, chill out. Nice options.
You could also say it has a calming effect, or is really therapeutic, or even it's a great stress buster.
Stress buster. Good one.
What about physical benefits?
Simple phrases work well. It helps me get into shape or keep fit or stay in shape.
Makes sense. And the social side.
You can say it allows me to hang out with friends or meet up with friends or again, chill out with friends. A really nice natural phrase is simply, it's a nice way to socialize.
And you mentioned a British touch.
Yeah, adding quite can sound quite British. It's quite a nice way to socialize. Just a subtle thing. Okay. Any other reasons people mention?
Sure, things like it gets me out of the house, or maybe it's just it's exciting or it's interesting. If it's creative, and I like using my imagination. You might say that for writing or photography, for example.
And you can also describe yourself,
don't
right?
really-
Link it to your personality.
Yes, definitely. Use adjectives. I'm creative, so I love painting. Or I'm quite outgoing, so I enjoy team sports. Active, socializing. It links the activity to who you are.
That adds so much depth. It helps the listener understand you better, not just what you do on weekends. Okay, so now you've got all these great ways to talk about your free time. But how do you ask someone else without
Yeah.
using,
Oh,
like, the H words?
the forbidden hobby word.
Right.
It's about being smooth, conversational.
Finding common ground natural.
Exactly. And the sources give us good questions for different situations, for just everyday, casual chat, keep it indirect. Ask something like, what did you do this weekend? Or what did you do yesterday?
So you let them bring up the activity? Clever.
Yeah, it's less like an interrogation. Or another great way, once you've shared something you like, say you mention, I just read a great science fiction book, you can follow up with, have you ever read science fiction?
Okay, so you offer something first, then ask if they share the interest. Nice.
It helps find that shared interest really organically.
What about being a bit more direct? Maybe on a date or an interview, or just as if you know someone better.
Yeah, in those situations. Or if you want to dig deeper but still sound casual, you can ask, what kind of things do you like to do?
Using things keeps it natural, doesn't it?
Exactly. Or just, what do you like to do in your free time?
So the key is really context, isn't it? Choosing the right question for the moment.
Absolutely. Match the question to the situation and what you want to achieve in the conversation.
Makes sense. And okay, flipping it around. When someone asks you, you don't want to just give a one-word answer, right? This is your chance to connect, keep the chat flowing.
Precisely.
Like,
Let's make those replies richer and learn how to ask good follow-ups. So instead of just, I like football or I love reading, which can sound a bit basic,
yeah, bit childish sometimes.
maybe, yeah. Try something more sophisticated, like, I spend a lot of time clicking pictures, or I'm really into football, or I'm really into swimming. You can even soften it slightly with I'm quite into swimming, shows strong interest.
Okay, spend a lot of time doing something really into, quite into.
Or I am keen on knitting, or I'm keen on reading books. Keen on is another good one. And I enjoy reading, or I enjoy swimming is always solid. Again, notice the gerund often follow these.
Right, lots of better options than just I like.
Definitely. And then once they share their activity, you need to show interest. Dig deeper, as one source put it.
Ask follow-up questions.
Essential. Great ones are, how did you get into that? Asks about the origin story.
Nice. What else?
How long have you been doing that? Gets the history. If it seems like something they might have done as a kid, did you grow up doing that?
Oh, that's a good one. Very personal.
Yeah. And to understand the social side, do you usually do it alone or do you have friends who do it with you?
These questions really open up the conversation, don't they? Show you're
Yes.
actually listening.
Totally. They keep it moving and build rapport.
And yeah, like you said before, if you find common ground, oh, I used to do that, or I've always wanted to try that, definitely share it. Builds connection instantly.
Mm.
Okay, brilliant. Loads of great stuff there. Finally, though, we need to touch on a mistake, a really common grammatical error students make, especially maybe in tests.
Yes, this one comes up a lot. It's simple but important for sounding correct. Many learners will say something like, my favorite hobby is play the guitar, or my favorite hobby is collect stamps.
Ah, using the base verb.
Exactly. The mistake is using the verb directly after is when you're defining the hobby itself. You need a noun or a noun phrase there.
So what's the fix?
Use the gerund, the ing form of the verb. It acts like a noun here, naming the activity, so it should be. My favorite hobby is playing the guitar. Or, my favorite hobby is collecting stamps.
Playing, collecting. Got it. That small change makes a big difference.
It really does. Just makes your English sound much more natural and grammatically sound.
Wow. Okay, that was a proper deep dive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Talking about free time, passions, hobbies. Well, maybe not hobbies.
Right. Avoid the H word in casual chat.
We've covered so much. Categorizing activities, why hobby is tricky, all those great phrases.
How to add detail, talk about benefits, ask good questions, follow up.
And that key grammar point at the end.
By understanding all these nuances, you're not just learning words. You're really getting the tools to connect better, to show who you are.
It's about sounding authentic, expressing a big part of your identity.
Exactly.
So for everyone listening, now that you've got all these new ideas, what's one new phrase or maybe one approach you're going to dabble in next time someone asks about your free time? Something to think about.